All right, good day and welcome back. Went to an auction this week. I came home with a tractor and a whole lot more. So stick around and let me know how you think I did. Okay, so here's the backstory to the auction. I didn't know what was going to happen. I stumbled across it. I was looking for the manufacturer of this loader on Old Smoky, and in doing so I stumbled across a picture of a Minneapolis Moline Big Mo 500. Now, I'd seen this tractor before in the past. In fact, when you look up a Big Mo 500 on tractordata.com, that's the tractor that comes up. So there's 3 pictures of it. I've probably for the last 10 years have seen those pictures and have always wanted to get a Big Mo and style it just like that with the same loader. I just thought it was the coolest tractor, but I thought it must have been out of state. I wasn't sure where it was, and I saw a picture of a side view that I'd never seen before. So I clicked on the picture and it turned out to be an auction. And I looked a little bit further and realized that it was actually in Minnesota. It was about 30 minutes south of the cities, and that's only about an hour and 10 minutes away from me. So they had a viewing for everything that they had posted, and there was a lot. It was 8 or 9 Moline tractors, most of them restored. It was uni tractors, it was implements, it was you name it. Okay, good day. Today we're at a Moline auction. There's all kinds of good stuff, so we're just kind of scoping it out. It's an online auction, and hopefully we can pick up some parts. Looks like the tag wheel off a cultivator there. Carburetor. A couple of generators. I wonder what that unilift bracket is for. Looks like it's an Avery maybe. A couple cylinder jugs. Yeah, I think I've got these 2 saved already. So I want the 2 seats for sure. Looks like a hood for a U. Probably the fenders too. Here's some pneumatic cylinders. This is the 10A80. Not sure what this little guy is. And then a hydraulic pump. Pulley driven. Nice mower, back blade, sickle bar. Three-point. It's got the guarding. Looks like some heads for a 206. The only problem is you don't know. They're the high compression, and you don't know whether the water jackets are good. Lots of fun stuff. And this here I'm really interested in. This is the V4 Moline engine. Kind of looks like it's all there. Boy, that'd be a sweet little project. Ampitor. Small clutch pack. Dad had one just like this for the 445. That's what he used to clean the snow off the driveway with. So there's one of these up front that's restored. These were apparently from Superior. They used them to fuel some of the ships. It would be a project, that's for sure. The one they've got up front though that's a display, that looks nice. I'll have to get a shot of that too, but I think this would be a bit of a gamble. Who knows what condition that radiator's in. There's the carburetor. So it's gas. Be a neat little piece to have. For sure was a fan of Moline. A lot of fun stuff here. I could walk around this place all day. So the sale closes tomorrow at noon. Pickups on Monday. So by the time I get this uploaded, it'll already be all said and done. Another more. This is one I'm for sure looking at. It's got the same loader as Stinky, or Smoky, excuse me. This is twice the capacity. You can see the cylinders are much bigger. Big counterweight on the back. There's a G with a LP, or U, excuse me, a U with LP. And they had a video of this one running, so I know this one runs. I like the bucket on it too, it's huge. Old Mo. My boy's after me for this one, but we'll see. Old military. There's the painted up one. The overall goal was to bring the Big Mo home. Now, with having just purchased Old Smoky, that really wasn't on the docket of things to do. If I hadn't purchased Old Smoky, I would have had quite a bit more money to play with, but it is what it is, and I had a budget. So the wife and I sat down, discussed a budget. I went about $600 above that budget, and unfortunately the thumbnail lied. I did not bring home the Big Mo. I also bid on a UTI that had the same loader as this, except bigger. So it was made by Lull, but it was a 5,000 pound capacity versus the 25,000 pound capacity. In some of the other clips you'll see that I took at the auction, how much bigger the cylinders are. but I ended up missing that one too. And then there was a UTU that had been converted to LP that my son saw and said, you know, Dad, it's probably the worst one out of the bunch, and if it goes for cheap enough, will you buy it for me and then I'll pay you back? He's 16. It's time for him to get a project tractor. I said, yep, if I don't happen to get my tractors, I'll bid a little bit more on that one and we'll see if we can bring it home. And that's what we ended up doing. Okay, this is what we walked away with. William's new tractor. Minneapolis Moline U. Vintage unknown at the moment. Not running. Needs some love.
Sure does.
But it's an LP. And it's what he wanted. And now his journey begins with restoration and tractor work. And then next to it is the UTI that I bid on, but I didn't get. So it's a lull, and you can see these cylinders are much bigger compared to mine. I think I have 4 bolts on mine at the top of the cylinder. This has got 2, 4, 6. Yeah, much beefier. Mine's rated at 2,500 pounds. This is rated at 5,000. And yeah, it would have been a fun one to have, but
The weight's on the back.
yeah, that would have been a cool one to have.
It's definitely not the full UTIL because it's not stretched.
Oh goodness. Wow. See how long this process takes.
Straight enough. I think so. I got 2 kids.
10, 11 kids, haven't run it like a kid.
This is all he does. Is your stuff. 2 445s, a 335, a Z, and R. And we got a BFA with it. We were looking at that big mold. That's his dream tractor. Oh wow! You're the second one.
Okay.
No, we got another guy.
Alright. It's being loaded. Ah.
Another foot? Yeah. Your rear end is between your axes. Perfect.
Oh. That was an easy process.
Thank you.
Stop recording.
I went through all of the parts pallets, and I bought about 3 or 4 of the parts pallets, and I was very happy with the results of that. So I've got it all laid out here on the trailer. I'm going to take you through it. I'll show you everything that came out of there. There were certain things on each pallet that I saw that I knew that I wanted, and I based my price point off of that. And everything else was just kind of a happy surprise. There's a handful of things that I'm probably just going to get rid of because they were on the pallet, they came with it, but I have no use for it. But it's very little, very, very little. So I'll take you through all that right now, and then I'll show you the UTU. Alright, so at the front of the trailer here, it's just a pile of parts from the UTU, PTO shield, brake shields. His drawbar was busted, so this is the bottom of the drawbar enclosure, and then the drawbar is on the back of the trailer. So that's all his stuff. And then this is the belt pulley for the UTU, so that came with it. And then on 2 of the pallets that I purchased, there were belt pulleys. So this one looks very similar to the one that I put on, or that I bought for the Z, that I never actually put on because of the cultivator. It's about the same size, and I paid like 300 bucks for that off of eBay. So I feel like I'm already a little bit ahead with this. And then there's another pulley. This might not even be Moline, I'm not sure. I haven't looked that close at this one because I really haven't cared, but yeah, that was on there too. Next, there's a box of old data tags that I just felt like would be a really cool display somewhere, or I could do something with them. I paid hardly nothing for them, and there were even some really cool copper ones from Twin City tractors in there. There's, you know, each style, the newer style, the older style. So I think once I get them all cleaned up and figure out what I'm going to do with them, it's going to be kind of neat. A couple mufflers. So this definitely was not what I was looking at, just happened to be on the pallet. They may or may not come in handy, I don't know. I'll probably hang on to them though. A couple wheel weights. So Will's UTU came with 2 of the 8-bolt wheel weights, and then we got another one, and then this will be the oddball, but I'm hoping that I can use these on Old Smoky to get some counterweight in the back. So they were by themselves. I bought those specifically for Old Smoky. We've got, in the center of the trailer here, I've got just a pile of stuff that I'm probably not going to hold on to. It's just basically steel. This is a side panel, but I don't know for what. And then the shaft, the splines are gone. It's pretty much garbage. It was probably for an implement anyway. And then this sprocket, I'm not sure what that's off of, probably an implement. These steps are off of a Z or an R, so I'll hang on to those. Not sure what this bracket is. I haven't really looked into it yet, but that was just another thing on the pallet. And then there's a couple of the seats from I think they're from like an M5 or like Big Mo. And that's one of the things that I was after, because I'm thinking when I redo Old Smoky, it's probably going to get a seat similar to this versus trying to find the 445 seat that belongs to it. This one had cushions, not the best, but not the worst either. And I may even stick this on there before any type of restoration happens with it. And then I've got a second one right behind it that is in good shape. It's got some of the mounting bracketry. So both of them I'll keep, I'll clean up, I'll find some new cushions, and I'll use them. And then along with that, so those are the seats that I wanted, and then these came with it. It's just a regular pan seat, and then 2 R-style seats. This one is in really good shape. I could sandblast it, paint it, primer and paint it, and then throw some cushions on it, and probably get some pretty good money for it if I wanted to. This one's in a little rougher shape. It's got some cracks and whatnot in it, but still not terrible. I could still probably turn it into something decent. So then there was another pallet that had these 2 cylinders on it. and I decided if it went for decent money that I would grab these, just because I'm sure I'll find other implements that I'll want to use it on someday. I know the UTU has the Unimount roller lift on it that one of these cylinders would potentially go on. So and at the end of the day, if it's got those good seals in the back, you know, I could make one good one out of two. I'm still probably ahead on it. So there's those, the drawbar for the UTU. There's an extra drawbar that was on one of the skids. Not sure what it's to. And then as I was going through things this morning, this is another thing that just was on the pallet, but it was in this this like shipping wrap, right? And I pulled it out to find a 3-inch socket. So a 1-inch drive, 3-inch socket. Happy surprise. This was on one of the pallets. Not something I was looking at, just happened to be on there. It's for a trike front, and I'm guessing it's for a bigger, like, I don't know, maybe a 5-star. But it came out of this bolster. The bolster was also on the pallet. It's in bad shape. It's got an end busted out here in the casting. It looks like they tried to repair it. Same thing on this side. Both the end caps were missing, which I'm guessing that's why that bolster ended up coming off of whatever it was on. It's got this guard on the front that is bent in half. So yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what it came off of, but I'm thinking it was a bigger tractor. Even though I don't have any use for it, I'll probably keep it. But I don't know, maybe that'll end up going to a swap meet one day. Then these were on the pallet, and when I went to the showing, didn't even see them under there. I don't believe they're Moline. My guess is they're probably Ford. They've got some hints of being painted yellow at one point, but they've got this brown on them right now from like a looks like a Jetstar brown. I know that Moline made them. In fact, I was talking about potentially building a set for the 335. I haven't measured them yet, but these are probably going to go on the 335 because it saves me time in trying to make them. But I don't. If they were Moline, I would have to believe that they would have had the part number stamped on them somewhere, and I don't see it. So maybe they are, maybe they're not. Not sure. And then this wheel, not sure what that is either. Again, it was just another item on the pallet. It looks like a crank handle to like a road grader, an older road grader. I feel like that's where I've seen something like this before, but not really sure on that either. Then we had another Unilift, Unimatic roller lift, and it has the brackets for the cultivator arm. So I have a video for the Z where I actually built a set of these because I didn't have them and I had no idea where to get them or if I could get them, and then they show up on this. But it is, I am interested to take one off and bring it over and look at how closely I did this based off of just the pictures from the parts book. It's going to be really neat to see. So one thing I noticed already is these two brackets, they're held together with rivets, and not bolts, and I used bolts. So I'm pretty sure this is off of a U tractor. These brackets are not what would have been on the Z's. And then I'm not sure what this piece of linkage is. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. Oh, that's where the cylinder would connect. So I wonder if this was like on a manual lever and they didn't have a cylinder in there or something. Okay, now we can get to some of the little bit more exciting stuff that absolutely didn't plan, but was kind of a happy accident. So one of the pallets had these cylinder jugs for a 206. So I saw that. It's one of the reasons I went down to look at everything, was to see what kind of condition these were in, and if they were halfway decent and it went cheap enough, I was going to get them. They are two separate part numbers, and I'll get back to that in a few minutes. But these were on a pallet with I think maybe the seats or maybe the cylinders. I don't remember which one. And then on a separate pallet there were cylinder heads. These are matching part numbers, and again, I don't know what the water jackets are like in either one of these, but if they're in good shape, I think I'm money ahead, because I could clean these up and I can use them. And if you are looking for even a used one on like eBay, you're anywhere from $500 to $700. So if just one of these turns out to be good, I'm money ahead. And again, separate pallets, so it was just coincidence that I happened to get both. Also on one of the two pallets, and I think, if I remember right, it was with the cylinder jugs and not with the heads, but there's the bracket that holds the two together, and then there was the rocker shaft for the tappets. And then there was also this tappet cover. So almost everything I need to build up a 206, just the top end of the engine. Now on another pallet, and I think it was probably maybe the cylinders or the seats, there was a block for a 206. It had the crank and the cam in it, and I ended up purchasing that too, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So between the three pallets that I didn't necessarily plan, I ended up bringing home pretty much an entire 206 engine. So as I started to dig through the milk jugs that were on the pallet along with it, started to find more parts for this engine. So the bearing races for the pistons, they're not here. So about the only thing it's missing is the pistons. Some of the lower connecting rod brackets, but they're no good without the pistons. Couple of the castle nuts for that. A little tin full of Rockford bolts. And then another one of the milk jugs had what I believe to be all of the nuts for the heads, and then it also had some of the studs. So some were in here, some were not. With what I pulled out of there, I was able to fit all 18 studs. Some of these studs are not in good shape. I don't know if you can see the thread on that one. It's not good, but at least they were all here, and I'm guessing all of the nuts are probably here too. Looking at the heads, so the 4 studs for that were all present, and then for the exhaust, There are 3 of the 4 studs. However, I do have all 4 of the retaining bolts or brackets. So that's almost all present. The water tubes that go in between, that one is present. That one is present. And the one out to the water pump is present. And the one out to the water pump is actually in good shape. So I could probably clean it up and put it on the shelf and use it. The oil supply tube for the rocker is not in good shape. Not sure what happened to that poor guy, but those are things that we can find. And then the standoffs for the rockers, the push rods for the rockers. So pretty much everything except for a manifold and the pistons are here to be able to rebuild an entire 206. And again, like I said, happy accident. If all of these parts end up being good and usable, if all the water jackets test out and are okay in those cylinders, I have to believe that I'm money ahead. Carburetor that was on one of the pallets. This is a TSX 97, maybe a 973, I'm not sure, but this is not what was on a 445. So there's multiple different carburetors that fit a 206, but this was not the one for the 445. I have 2 of those on the shelf, so I've got to do a little research and look in the book and see if this is one that belongs to the 206. Battery box cover, multiple starters, generators, and a couple alternators. My guess is they're all pretty much junk, but I'll keep them on the shelf just in case. Some of it, I'll keep some of it on the shelf. There's some of this that's probably just going to go straight in the trash. I don't have much of a use for some of it, but again, that's okay, because that was not what I bought the pallets for. A Z fuel tank, an R fuel tank. I don't have a use for them, but definitely keep them on the shelf because you never know. A couple of breather caps. I'm not sure what these are off of. I have a guess for this one. Just again, they came with everything else. And then some more bigger Rockford bolts. I'm not sure what these end caps are to, but they are greasable, whatever it was. And then a box of hose clamps with some hose in it, but this is another item that I specifically went to go look at because I wanted to know if we had any Moline hose clamps in there, and I did get lucky with a couple. Not as many as I was hoping were in there, but when I went down I did see a couple, so I bought it. It's nice to have these on the shelf too when you're doing an actual restoration and you want everything to be as close to what it was. It's handy to have them. So the whole reason I bought that box was for those couple hose clamps, but I'm sure some of this will probably come in handy. Yeah, so that does it for the pallets. So that was a total of 4 just mixture pallets where I wanted a couple of things and I got a whole lot out of it. And then the other thing that I went after was a 206 V4 engine. I know it's not rare or anything, it's what was in the uni combines, but I saw it and I thought, you know, that would be a fun project. It's basically a lot of the same componentry as the 206. The cylinder jugs and the cylinder heads are the exact same as what was on a 445. These block numbers match what's on those block numbers, and when I was talking about those blocks and them not matching, so the cast number that's on these cylinder jugs is on one of those, and then the other one, the cast number, is what's on Stinky's 206. So I've got most everything to it, at least enough that I think I could tear it down and build it back up and be pretty close to having everything I need to make it run. It is missing a couple of things, but I mean, we've got the intake manifold, we've got the exhaust manifolds. I'm even thinking that carburetor might have come off of this, so I might have the carb for it. It's got a variable speed pulley on it, so that I'm probably going to take off. Again, if I do anything with it, I'm just going to turn it into a power unit. So that'll go, and then I'd have to find a radiator for it, which isn't a huge issue. It does have the water pump on it. This is the front end of the water pump. I'm thinking this is the exact same as what's on a Z or an R. It's just the back end of it is different. On a Z or an R, it's got a long shaft that goes down to the 2-cylinder jugs. On this one, it just goes into the 1-cylinder jug and then passes through this tube into the other one and then pumps out the top. So yeah, I thought it was a cool piece, and I decided if it went cheap enough, I was going to pick it up. I have no idea if it's stuck or not, and even if it is, it's not a big deal. I plan on going through the whole thing anyway, so yeah, it just thought it was a cool piece. And then just another part that happened to be on the pallets was this guy, and it's a PTO shaft. You know, it's in the engagement for a PTO shaft. It took me a while to really figure out what it was, but I think this is off of a Caterpillar. I think this is off like a D2. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge Caterpillar person, but that's what it looks like to me, especially with this yellow paint. So this is obviously the engage and disengage, but I have no idea what this section of it is. It's got an arm on the other side. I'm not sure what that would drive, but if anybody knows, you leave me some information in the comments, because I honestly don't need it for anything, and I'd love to get rid of it. And if it's something that you're looking for if it is for a Caterpillar, and you're in the Minnesota area and you're not afraid to drive a little bit, I'd be willing to just offload it, because I'm not going to do anything with it. So let me know. And then we got to go all the way around the trailer. Because there's two more things. So one was a crate of piston rings, and most of these are for a 206 engine. And again, it's why I went down for the viewing day, because I wanted to see if they were new or used, and they're all new. They're in very good shape, and for what I paid, again, I think I got a steal. And I think there's 2 sets of 206, one set that would fit the UTU, and another set that is oversized for a 206. So 4 sets of rings, and then I got a whole stack of engine gaskets. So that's the head gasket for the UTU. I've got pretty much a whole gasket set for the 206, multiple gasket sets for an R. And yeah, again, that is probably what I paid the most for, but I still think I came out ahead. So that's it. That is everything that I picked up. This is way more than I've ever bought at the swap meet, and I've been going to the swap meet for 5 years now. It's way more than I've ever picked up from flea markets in one shot. It's a ton that I don't think I could touch at a swap meet. So all in, I paid $570 for everything that I got, minus Williams tractor. So let me know how you think I did. $570 for everything that we just went through. I think I came out way ahead, because every swap meet that I've ever gone to, I come home with 2 or 3, maybe 4 things. I mean, even like this year, I came home with a belt for the pulleys. I came home with a under the hood toolbox. I came home with really, you know, nothing huge, and I still spent $250. So I really think I'm huge money ahead in this venture, and I am extremely happy that I got the opportunity to go to this thing. All right, so with that, we will go down and we'll look at the tractor, and I'll show you the engine block, and then we'll call this one good. Okay, the UTU LP conversion. So we'll go through this really quick. I'm not going to do a whole lot on it. Again, this is Williams' tractor. This is not my tractor. And I'm sure that he's going to want to post plenty on his YouTube page about it. If you're curious, you can go to @WillDetterman, and I'm sure before too long you'll start to see some videos of it. It's, don't even know what year vintage it is. I'm guessing it's anywhere from 49 to 51, 52. It does have the LP conversion, so this started life as a gas, and it got converted to LP. The ad said that it ran 5 years ago when it was put away, but this is pretty much the only tractor that they did not have running. This and one other R that was restored but not running. So this is the only one that you didn't hear it run. At this point, I'm not sure if we're going to keep it LP. I'm actually leaning towards, I'm probably going to coax him to switch it back over to gas, simply because all we'd have to do is find a carburetor for it. I don't know. It's really going to be up to him, but I'm feeling like that's what I'm leaning towards. It cosmetically, it was chopped off for the LP tank, so the hood was already damaged to begin with, but it's missing this whole chunk here. The fenders aren't bad. They're still in pretty good round shape. The gauge clusters not in great shape. Again, I was showing you half the drawbar, so that's what's left under there, which is just that top plate for the drawbar. The brakes worked. It managed to stop us coming up on the trailer and down off the trailer. Ready?
Yeah, I'm still.
Oh my god, this is gonna be.
You want help?
Oh god.
Okay.
They lined up at least?
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh god. Whee!
Go. So He's got some hydraulic setup on here to where he apparently needed an auxiliary tank, didn't hold enough fluid in the main tank, so he put this auxiliary tank on, and then he's got this valve set up in the back here. You know, I'm not sure what he would have been using that for. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is the takeoffs for the regular hydraulic tank, and then that would have been the control. So I'm not sure what he needed to do above and beyond that. It looks like it's hard to tell, right? So you would have arms up here that a cultivator would have hung on, but there's this pipe that runs between the two now, and I don't know what that would have been for. I don't know, maybe there was a loader on here. It's a possibility. Not sure, but it needs some love, and I think it's going to be a great starter tractor for him. It came with a hand crank, can't complain about that. Okay, and here's the block to the 206. You can see on the tag 206H-4. So we've got a front pulley that's got the double groove for 2 belts. We've got the oil pump underneath. Still have the distributor on top. One of the things that I didn't show you out on the trailer, but I only had 4 of the lifters, but the other 4 are all accounted for in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the ones that are missing here that you can see all the way through, they're sitting out on the trailer. Here are the 6 bolts for this side that hold those cylinder jugs down. The crankshaft is in there, camshaft is in there. They don't look horrible, but it has been sitting outside. And then the inspection plate is on here, and it's got this mount on it right here that I believe would indicate it was a diesel, and that would have been the fuel injector pump. So the plate itself is not stamped steel like on the 445. It is an actual cast piece with that bump out for what I believe to be the injector pump for diesel. Otherwise, everything about it is the same as the engines on the 445s. So plan with this is get it up on an engine stand and get it all completely torn down, probably pull the crank and the cam, and then really go through it to see if there was a purpose that it was taken off and stripped down that had to do with the casting itself, or I don't know, maybe the crank locked up, or I'm not really sure. But again, I pretty much have all the components to build up another 206 engine. And honestly, since I've got it all, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll probably build it from scratch, completely build it up, and then when I'm ready to rebuild Old Smoky, it's just going to be an engine swap. I don't really see a reason not to. I know it's nice to keep engines and transmissions together, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So, why is this already in the garage and off the trailer, and the V4 208 or 206 is not? Don't ask questions that you don't want answers to. This is the sprocket that was on the PTO of Old Smoky. And last night, as we were taking this stuff off the trailer, the welds broke. So this is a sprocket that fit that shaft, and then a sprocket that fit that chain, and they just welded it on. Another reason why I really don't like that hydraulic setup. So I will be spending the rest of my day trying to put this back together. Plus you can see how bad the teeth are on this thing. It's not going to last me long, but it's got to last me at least long enough that I can determine what kind of pump I want to put on it, and at least long enough to get that engine off the trailer. So all right, that's where we're going to end it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, leave me some comments about that PTO. Like I said, I believe it's Caterpillar, but I'd like to know for sure. And then yeah, let me know if you think I did all right on everything that I purchased. I think I did. I really think I did. So thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, take your foot off the clutch.